Hello, welcome to one of my favorite practices to do when I just have a little bit of time, but I still want to get into my body. I'm going to skip seated meditation, but if you have extra time, please feel free to add that in. For props, I recommend a blanket and anything else that you like to have with you in your yoga practice. Have your props handy where you can grab them and come forward onto your hands and your knees. Spread your fingers wide, press the heels of your hands down and forward, grip with your fingertips. Tone your navel, come into downward facing dog pose. If you're tighter in the hamstrings, feel free to bend your knees. Really see if you can get length and even a sense of space in your spine. Take full inhales and full exhales through your nose. And take your right leg up and back to the wall behind you. Bend your knee, open your hip and stretch. Press your hips back. Step or help your foot forward between your hands. Come into a lunge pose. Now you could certainly take your hands on blocks if you're a little tighter. Squeeze your feet towards each other and firm both outer hips. Twist, take your right arm to the ceiling. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, twist a little deeper. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Release your hand down. Grab any padding you might need for your back knee. Drop your back knee to the ground. Lift up crescent lunge. Now we'll add a side bend here. With your right hand, grab your left wrist. Inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, crescent to your right. Only go as far as you can go comfortably. Inhale, come back to center, and we'll take an open twist. Take your left arm forward, right arm back. Twist from the strength of your core. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Inhale, lift up. And as you exhale, take your hands down. Step back into downward facing dog pose. Stretch and extend your spine. Let's do the second side. Take your left leg up and back. Bend your knee. Open your hip and stretch. Step or help your foot forward. If you get stuck, just take your hand behind your knee and help your foot up. Again, you can have your hands on blocks if you're a little tighter. Strongly lift your back leg as you bend deep in your front knee. Squeeze your feet towards each other and firm both outer hips. Twist, take your left arm to the ceiling. As you inhale, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, twist. 3, 2, and 1. Release your hand. Now, if you don't have a blanket nearby, this is another good way to pad your knee. You can grab your mat, double fold, and drop your knee down. Lift up crescent lunge. With your left hand, grab your right wrist, inhale. And as you exhale, crescent to your left. Sit as deep as you can comfortably. And then with an inhale, come back up through center. Let's add the open twist. Take your right arm forward, left arm back. Turn 3, 2, 1. Inhale, take both arms up, stretch. And as you exhale, take your hands down. Clear your mat, step back, downward facing dog pose. As you inhale, shift forward, come into a plank position. Option to drop your knees for less challenge. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, come all the way down. Point your toes, take the tops of your feet to the floor. Take your palms back under your elbows. Move your shoulders forward slightly, and then up to the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other and down your back. Inhale, lift cobra. If you're feeling a little more flexible, you can lift a little higher. Pull your shoulders back. Try to stretch your sternum forward, curl in your upper back. And as you exhale, come up and back, downward facing dog pose. Now, since this is a pretty short practice, we're going to add in one more sequence so we can get into everything. Take your right leg up and back to the wall behind you. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose and your nose to your knee. Hold 3, engage your core, 2, and 1. Stretch up and back. Step your foot forward between your hands. Pivot your left heel down. And as you inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Hold 3, 2, and 1. Release your hands. Step back plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower this time. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale. Upward facing. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Let's go right into the second side. Take your left leg up and back to the wall behind you. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, squeeze your knee to your nose and your nose to your knee. Flex and round your spine. 3, 2, 1. Stretch up and back. And then step forward. Remember, you can always help your foot forward. Pivot your right heel down. Rise up. Virabhadrasana 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Release your hands. Step back plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Upward facing dog. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Bring your right knee forward. Set up pigeon pose. Turn your torso forward and come onto your forearms. Staying in this shape, tuck your back toes under. Lift your back knee off the ground. And like we did in the lunge work, try to squeeze your feet towards each other and firm both outer hips. This makes the stretch more dynamic and helps us maintain strength even though we're stretching. Walk your hands up. Press back. Downward facing dog pose. And bring your left knee forward. Set up for the second side of pigeon. And come forward. A few breaths here in a more passive stretch. And then now let's make it a little more dynamic. Tuck your right toes under. Lift your knee up. Like the lunge work, squeeze your feet towards each other. And breathe here. Try to soften any tension. And walk your hands up. One more time. Press up and back. Downward facing dog pose. Stretch and extend your spine. And then come to lie on your back. Start with your knees bent and the soles of your feet to the floor. And just let the weight of your body sink into your mat. Next, cross your right knee on top of your left knee. Tuck your left hip under your body and twist your legs to your left. And a spinal twist to end a brief practice. As you inhale, unwind, center your hips, and switch the cross of your legs. Next, tuck your right hip under, twist your legs to your right. And then unwind, center your hips, and give your knees a nice little squeeze, maybe a little rock side to side. And then set up for Shavasana. And if you have more time, stay for longer. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.